right, we are back for my picks of the AFC. Thanks, Mike, for your analysis. We're just going to jump right into it with the AFC East, starting off with the Patriots. And I was a little hard on them, honestly, but I have them starting out at 11-6. Key wins over the Bills at home, the Saints at home, the Colts on the road, and the Chargers on the road. But I also have them. I'm a little tough on them just because I don't know what's gonna really happen with them for right now. How all these new roster additions are gonna look. So I have them losing to the Titans, Bucks, and Browns at home, and losing to the Bills and the Dolphins. Always that Patriots late season matchup at the end of the year. They're probably gonna drop that in Miami. Moving on to the Dolphins, I have them at 10-7. Um, so I have them, on the flip side, winning that game with the Patriots probably in late December at home. I have them beating the Colts at home and beating the Raiders on the road. I also have them losing twice though to the Bills. I don't think the Dolphins beat the Bills at all. Um, Losing to the Ravens at home and losing to the Titans, Bucks, and Saints on the road. Those are just three tough teams that aren't going to lose at home. Moving on to the Jets. I have the Jets sitting at 1-16. Obviously, we'll see what happens through the draft, see if that changes anything. But the way it stands, I only have the Jets beating the Jaguars at home. And that's just because they're at home. If they were on the road, I'd give that game to the Jaguars easy. For their key losses, they're losing everybody. They might make a couple games close. We'll see how the team develops over the year. They got a good coach in Robert Salah, but the way it stands right now, 1-16. We'll see what happens. And then finishing off that division with the Bills. The Bills I have slated right now at 12-5. They're gonna beat the Pats, the Colts, and the Steelers at home. They're gonna protect home field, and then they're going to go onto the road and struggle a little bit, losing to the Patriots, the Titans, the Saints, the Bucks, the Chiefs. That's a tough slate of games right there. Hopefully they can spread that out throughout the season so that way, it's not a big losing streak, but they're going to be sitting at 12-5, I think. So now moving on to the AFC North, excuse me. Starting off with the Ravens. The Ravens are going to look like a 13-4 team in my eyes. They're going to pick up wins at home against the Browns, the Steelers, the Packers, the Chargers. They're also going to go on the road and beat the Bears, I believe. But on the flip side, they're going to lose to the Chiefs at home. The Chiefs are just going to be nasty. And they're going to lose divisional games to the Browns and Steelers on the road. And I have the Raiders picking up an upset over them and knocking them down a peg. Moving on to the Bengals. I have the Bengals slated at 4-13. So, they're gonna lose 2 games apiece, both divisional games. They're not gonna beat the Ravens, Browns, or Steelers at all. It doesn't matter if it's home or away. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. They're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to lose to the Packers. They're going to lose to the Vikings probably. That could be a toss-up game. Again, depending on what the Bengals do through the draft. If they get, some weapons, Jamar Chase or something like that. But the way it stands, they're going to lose that game. But they are going to pick up a win against the Jaguars. And then they're gonna show some grit. They're going to go on the road and they're going to beat the Lions and the Broncos, probably. That might be another toss-up game, and they're going to beat the Jets. So then we'll move on to the Steelers. They're probably going to be that 10-7 is what I have them at. So, there's a very competitive division. So the Steelers, they're going to win their home games against the Browns and the Ravens. They're going to sweep the Bengals on the season, but they're going to go and they're going to lose those games on the road to the Browns and the Ravens. Again, very competitive division. Home field's going to matter a lot. They're also going to drop games to they're going to lose a home game to the Titans, I believe. The Titans are going to avenge that loss from last year, and they're not going to let that happen again. And then they're probably going to go on the road, and they're going to lose a tough game to the Chiefs. They're going to lose a tough game to the Chargers. They're going to lose to the Packers. and they're probably going to lose a tough game to the Bills. Um, so then we're going to finish up the AFC North with the Browns. So again, same story. The Browns, they're going to sweep the Bengals. They're going to win at home against the Ravens and the Steelers. They're going to lose on the road against the Ravens and the Steelers. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. I have them finishing. They're going to finish 13-4. They're going to go into Foxborough and steal a win, I believe, which is going to be great for them. It's going to be. I'm going to be hating that day, but I believe that's what's going to happen. That hurts to say as a Patriots fan, but that's the faith I have in the Browns. They're probably going to lose a tough game in Lambeau. They're going to go on the road, and I can't quite. It's going to be a toss-up game with that Chargers team, too. They're going to go into Minnesota, though, and get a win. So, yeah, they're going to finish up at 13-4. It's going to be a very competitive division this year, I believe. And we'll see what happens there. Moving on to the AFC South. Here's where some things get a little tricky. I'm just giving the to the Texans. We don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. I made these picks with the assumption that he's going to end up on the commissioner's exempt list for the year, or at least a good majority of the year. And with that being said, you really don't have much of an option. You have Tyrod Taylor, who hasn't really played much in 2 years, and you have Ryan Finley, who, he's still young. He's still learning, especially in this division, which can be unforgiving. I'm putting the Texans at 0-17. First 0-17 season ever. Yeah, that's going to be Houston right there. They haven't made good free agency deals. They made terrible trades. They haven't. Honestly, they should have gotten rid of Deshaun Watson before everything blew up in their face, and now they're going to pay the price for it. That's just the bottom line. They're going to be in a rebuilding year. Yeah. Moving on to the Colts. The Colts, I believe, I have slated at 6-11. So the Colts are going to be one of those teams that are just kind of in the mix here and there. Like, they're going to be competitive for the most part, but also I feel like they made a terrible, terrible trade in trading for Carson Wentz. You have the argument that the best Carson Wentz came from when he was with Frank Reich, but I think Carson Wentz is washed. He's been hurt. He's not going to stay healthy, especially with some of the pass rushers that he's going to have to face. So I'm pretty sure that the Colts are going to be in that 6-11 range. They're going to beat the Jaguars pretty handedly at home. I think I have them losing to the Jaguars on the road. I'm not sure. Excuse me. But yeah, that's probably gonna be in the mix. So they're gonna win their game against the Jaguars at home. They're going to they're gonna sweep the Texans. They're gonna beat them 2 times during the year. They're gonna beat the Jets. But they also have a lot of tough games. They got the Patriots coming to Indy. They're going to lose that. The Titans, they're going to lose both games to the Titans this year, I believe. The Titans have their number, absolutely. They also have the Rams and the Seahawks coming to town. They're going to lose those games. And the Raiders coming to town, which I believe I have them slated to lose that game as well. So yeah, the Colts are going to be in a little bit of a rough year. They'll rebound a little bit. They're still always they're gonna beat the Jags once. They're gonna lose to them once, I believe. But yeah, that's actually no. I think I slated the Jags to have them losing that game. It's tough without an actual schedule and going just off of opponents to keep track of who's winning and who's losing. But so the the Colts also, they have to go to Miami. They have to go up into Buffalo. They have to go to Arizona. Uh, they have to go to the Ravens. So tough games. It's gonna be a tough season for them. Very tough season for them. Moving on to the Titans. I have the Titans sitting at 14-3, very good record. I have a lot of faith in the Titans. That offense is going to be great. They just need to get a couple defensive pieces in place, and they're going to be off to the races. They're going to lose a tough home game to the Chiefs. That's going to be, it's going to be tough for them. But they're also going to beat the Bills at home. They're going to beat up on the Jags, the Texans, the Colts. They're going to run their division. They're going to beat Arizona at home. That's going to be a tough game for the Cardinals. But the Titans are going to be ready for it. They're just going to, they're going to go into Foxborough, get a win. They're going to go to Pittsburgh, get a win. They're just going to have, a little slide when they play the Rams and the Seahawks. They have to go travel onto the West Coast, and that's going to be a tough couple games for them. And then, we'll finish up with the Jaguars in this division. I have them going 3-14. I believe they're going to sweep the Texans. They're going to lose a close game, probably to the Jets. But I have them, maybe a little bit of an upset, but I have them beating the Broncos at home. That Broncos team doesn't really know what it's doing, so we'll see what happens. What Broncos team shows up, that might be a team that gets caught towards the end of the season. You never know. But I got faith in Urban Meyer. Trevor Lawrence is going to come into it really hard. They've got some weapons down there. They built their defense back up a little bit. It'll be an exciting team to watch. Definitely be an exciting team to watch and see, what happens there. So then So now we'll go to the AFC West. We're going to start off with the Broncos. They're going to lose twice to the Chiefs. They're going to lose twice to the Chargers. I believe they're going to lose twice to the Raiders. Overall in the season, I have them going 4-13. But, they're going to beat, I believe, the Giants. They're going to beat the Jets. They're going to beat the Eagles. And I think I have them going 1-1 with the Raiders. But, also they have tough games. They have to go to Pittsburgh. They have to go to Dallas, which, say what you will about Dallas, Dak's going to get that team competitive. But again, they're going to lose a tough game to the Bengals at home, tough game to the Washington football team at home. And, they're going to have to fight through some stuff and come back, retool, reload, and maybe get, another year of Drew Lock, get some weapons around him, and see what happens. So then going on to the Chargers, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I have the Chargers going 13-4. I am a big, big believer in Justin Herbert. That kid can ball. They've got weapons around him. They've got a defense. They just need to shore up their special teams, but they have all the tools to be very competitive and build around that young superstar quarterback. So, looking at their games, I believe they're going to steal a game off of the Chiefs. I think they're going to be the only team to beat the Chiefs this year. They're going to steal a close division game, come down right to the final seconds, and that's going to be a crazy game. But they're going to snag one just right out of the clutches. So, they're going to snag that. They're going to lose to the Chiefs on the road. They're not going to go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. They're going to sweep the Raiders, sweep the Broncos. They'll probably beat the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Giants at home. However, they will lose a home game to the Patriots. The Patriots will come in and take care of business there, just like they did last year. And then they'll probably end up dropping a close game to the Ravens on the road. But they also get to play the Eagles and the Texans and the Washington football team, and that will be some easy wins, some good cleanup games, and they'll handle their business and they'll go into the playoffs, and we'll see what happens there. Moving on to the Raiders. Now, the Raiders are probably the trickiest team that I had picking out of the AFC. The Raiders, they're just the Raiders. They're just that team that's always gonna hover. They're gonna lose a lot of games they shouldn't, but we'll just see what they do. So the Raiders are going, they're gonna lose both games to the Chiefs. They're probably gonna go 1-1 with the Chargers. They'll beat the Broncos twice. They're gonna lose to the. Actually, no, I have them upsetting the Ravens. They're gonna beat the Bengals. They'll beat the Eagles. They probably drop a game to Washington and drop a game to Miami. And then they're gonna lose probably to the Steelers, the Browns, probably the Cowboys. We'll see what happens, and I believe I have them beating the Colts too. So they're gonna be hovering that 9-8 line. That's where I have them. And lastly, to finish off the AFC West and the AFC in general, it's going to end with the reigning AFC champion Chiefs. And I see no reason why they don't repeat as champions of the AFC. They are going to run the table on everyone, and they're going to drop a close game to the Chargers, finishing the season at 16-1 probably. So yeah, they're gonna end up beating. They're gonna sweep the Raiders. They're gonna sweep the Broncos. They're gonna handle their business at home against the Steelers, Browns, Cowboys, against Bills and Chiefs. That'll be a close game. And then they're gonna go on the road, beat the Broncos, Raiders. They're probably gonna lose to the Chargers on the road. They're gonna handle their business on the road against the Ravens. Easily beat the Eagles, the Bengals, Washington football team. And then they're going to be a tight game against the Titans, but they will handle their business on the road and take care of that. So that is my picks for the AFC. Let me know if you disagree, if you agree, and we'll see you on the next one.